Then we have dust. Dust is the one actually which is being obtained from the sand blast or from the saw. It's this dust from the saw from the wood industries we are having. We also have the fly ash of the coal from the thermal power stations. This is all we have, the dust. Along with this dust, which includes mainly these solid particulate particles which are there, which remain suspended in the atmosphere. Then we have mists. Mists are ones which are actually being the condensed form of the water vapors or liquids, which are actually being used for various purposes. Like we have the sulfuric acid being along with the water, it gets condensed and forms a mist. Then we have fumes. Fumes basically includes the oxides of, they generally obtained by the condensation of the vapors of the certain oxides or the substances which are there. Like we can have the oxides of heavy metals, we can have oxides of the other organic substances or the solvents whose fumes or their molecules are there in the vapor stage. They condenses together to form particulate matter, liquid particulate matter, which are actually called fumes. Now all of these together causes a lot of serious problems, not only breathing problems, lungs infection, but also leads to asthma and bronchial problems. We all know that we can take an example of the tetraethyl lead, which is used as an anti-knocking for anti-knocking purposes mixed with petrol. That used to lead to a lot of oxides of lead in the atmosphere, which used to be the major source of the other breathing problems. That lead poisoning was becoming very increased. A lot of there was increase in the lead poisoning in the cities. That is why this TEL, tetraethyl lead, was banned, and now it uses other chemical for the anti-knocking value in petrol. Smog. Smog is a combination of smoke and fog. When smoke settles with the fog, it forms smog. Smog is the most common example of air pollution. Smog is mainly of two types. The first is classical smog. Classical smog we used to see in the 20th century, mainly in the cold, humid climate, where the smoke and the fog along with the sulfur dioxide combines together to form this classical smog. This smog, this mixture is reducing in nature, it's a reducing mixture. That's why this kind of a smog is called reducing smog. Let us see the second type of smog, which is called photochemical smog. This is different from the classical smog in the sense that this takes place in warm, dry and sunny climates, like what we have in tropical regions like we have India. Now in these places what we find is, it is the unsaturated hydrocarbons along with the nitrogen oxides, which in presence of the ultraviolet or high energy radiations of the sun gets converted into PC smog, means photochemical smog. Now how this takes place is that what we find is, we know that from the by the vehicular pollution what we get is the oxides of nitrogen. Now these oxides of nitrogen, mainly nitric oxide is obtained, we have studied, it combines with the oxygen and gets converted into nitrogen dioxide. This nitrogen dioxide under the influence of the sunlight gets broken down into nitric oxide and oxygen, nascent oxygen. This nascent oxygen combines with oxygen and forms ozone. Now this ozone is a strong oxidizing agent, and this combines with the nitric oxide which is there as a pollution, and again further leads to its oxidation to NO2 and O2. Now you need to know this, both the ozone and the NO2 both are oxidizing agents, and since this photochemical smog contains oxidizing agents, this is called oxidizing smog. Now these oxidizing agents, they combines with these unsaturated hydrocarbons and results in the formation of many harmful chemicals like formaldehyde, acrolein and PAN. PAN is peroxyacetyl nitrate. So such chemical substances, once they are produced due to this smog in the air, that are the ones which causes what? Photochemical smog. Now we need to know, this is what we have, the formation of photochemical smog. Now let us see the harmful effects of photochemical smog. The photochemical smog, which includes mainly the ozone, nitrogen dioxide, formaldehyde, acrolein, peroxyacetyl nitrate, PAN, these are the ones which are very harmful. They are the ones which causes irritation to eye, breathing problems, asthma, bronchial problems, and they also damages the buildings and other things, damages plants, and leads to other serious ailments. Now we are trying to control this photochemical smog. Now we have tried to control in the sense that by introducing what for catalytic converters in our vehicles, which actually doesn't allow the formation of the oxides of nitrogen. Along with this, we have been, these scientists have given us an idea to plant certain specific plants which actually absorbs carbon and oxides of nitrogen, and use by their metabolism converts them into the other compounds, and this is how they reduces the concentration of these compounds like NO2 and the ozone, etc. in the atmosphere, and that is how the formation of photochemical smog can be reduced or stopped. Now let us see the stratospheric pollution. In the stratospheric pollution, the most important to be taken care is the formation and the breaking down of the ozone. That is what we have kept the heading, the breaking and the formation of the ozone layer. The ozone layer is in the stratosphere, and this layer prevents the entry of the harmful ultraviolet radiation which are coming from the sun. If these radiations falls on the Earth's surface, they cause skin cancer to human beings. They also affect a lot of the plants and the aquatic life. Now, this ozone layer reflects back this ultraviolet radiation, absorbs these ultraviolet radiation, and thus prevents actually entering them into the Earth's atmosphere. Now, what happens is this ozone's formation and breaking down in this upper zone stratosphere is basically involved with oxygen. The oxygen in ultraviolet radiation breaks down into atomic oxygen. These atomic oxygen combines with oxygen to form ozone. So the formation of ozone is actually involved with the formation of atomic oxygen in the presence of ultraviolet radiations, and that is why its breaking down into back to the oxygen is very much viable. It is thermodynamically feasible. So it's a reversible reaction, and that is why this cycle this goes on in this system. But what happens is, due to the extensive use of chlorofluorocarbons, what we have seen over the years, this layer is becoming thinner and thinner. As a result, the UV radiations are entering into the Earth's atmosphere and causing skin diseases, the cataract, sunburn, skin burns, etc. Now, how this reaction takes place, how these things takes place. So, even though the chlorofluorocarbons are CF2Cl2, on exposure to UV radiations, if they are leaked out in the atmosphere, they reaches to the stratosphere. Under UV radiations impact, they gets converted into free radical CF2Cl2 and chlorine free radical. This chlorine free radical combines with ozone and results in the formation of chlorine monoxide radical and oxygen. Now, this chlorine monoxide radical combines with the atomic oxygen which is there in the stratosphere and forms chlorine radical and oxygen, and again this process chain propagation step goes on, and this is how the depletion of the ozone layer is taking place.